So we're going to put the evaporator into operation, which usually means taking out something that we just evaporated. You can tell that something was evaporated because there's some aluminum here on the window. But in order to take things out, the pressure, we have to turn off the turbo pump, because if the turbo pump hits atmosphere, it will wreck it. So how do you tell? It's on, I mean the power is on, but it's not spinning. All right? And you can see that the pressure is about 1.3 times 10 to the minus 2 torr. Right? That usually means the roughing pump is pulling on it, and that's as far as it'll go after it's been pumped down to 10 to the minus 6. Now you can try to look back in there and see that the fan blades are not spinning, but in this configuration it's kind of hard. All right. Next thing is make sure that the power is unplugged. All right. And then what you got to do is turn on the amps, the voltmeter, and then you can see that it's 0. So what we got to do is take the thing out of there. What I'm going to do is do it a little bit wrong first. Okay, the roughing pump is still on, so when I open this up, you're going to hear the air rushing in and the pressure coming up, but then kind of not doing anything. And you can really open it up and it can get quite loud. So you actually have to turn off the roughing pump. But before you do, you can tell that it's on because the electricity air activated solenoid is on. And if there's no compressed air, there's no nitrogen, and that won't come on. Anyway, to turn off the roughing pump, you just unplug that. And now you can see that the red indicator on the roughing pump is now pushed back. Now you can open this up and you can be fast about it. This goes to OR because it can't read the pressure. It's too high. But then once you hear the whooshing stop, close it back up, because sometimes when you turn the roughing pump on and you haven't done that, you hear shh. Let me just open this up. This is just very lightly touched. It's not holding the pressure. The vacuum is actually holding that. So then we're just going to take out. This is a wafer on top of an old photo mask, taped on with Kapton tape. But before we put the new one in, we're going to take two aluminum pellets, and this you can't really observe doing. You just kind of put your hand in, feel the bow, drop it in, and then you can see that the pellets are there. All right, you might not be able to capture that. All right, then you just wipe away the old aluminum so that you can see what's going on. It doesn't have to be perfect. Now over here, we have a silicon wafer and a shadow mask and a solar cell grid pattern taped to the top of it. So this, the aluminum went everywhere and we'll etch it later. Here, the aluminum only goes where you want it. This whole set hasn't been used before, so it's still, there's no aluminum coating it everywhere. Here, the aluminum went everywhere. So we want to deposit the aluminum. so we put the face down. This is a little bit touchy-feely, where you can just lay it there. Now you know the right height. Then you just slide it across, but it'll tip in there, which you don't want. So you want to slide it across to the other side of that T-junction. And you can kind of see it wiggle a bit, and you can even see it wiggle here. Now you know it's in there properly. All right? And sometimes I make mistakes and I forget to put in the aluminum, so I'm re-verifying that the aluminum is there, re-verifying that I put the rubbed off the aluminum there, and just a light touch. All right? Now we're ready to start the roughing pump, and yeah, I just double check to make sure that that's closed. You know, it's just finger tight. Oops. Now we turn on the roughing pump. Okay. You can see that indicator goes on and the pressure is dropping. Yeah. And now the pressure's going down. All right. Now come down here to the cooler. Sometimes this is not cooling, and you just press that button. Pressing these accidentally doesn't matter. Just press that button. Now it's sending water through this cooling jacket. Make sure it doesn't get too hot. So that turbo pump, even though it has fan blades, it's not like a fan. Those blades are actually like baseballs knocking molecules, you know, baseball molecules out the back of the evaporator. So if it starts with too much pressure, it can't really work, and what known as stalls. So it won't really pump down. So if you're below 100 millitorr, which we just are while I was talking, now you can start the turbo pump controller. It was an eBay purchase, one of the best I ever made, only 180 bucks. But this button is missing, so you just have to use an Allen key to press start. You'll hear a little, and then the green goes on as it starts to spin things up. And you can even hear a little bit of, which could mean it needs maintenance. But now we're looking at the pressure, and it's going below what you can get with just the roughing pump alone. So it'll take about an hour to get down to around 5 times 10 to the minus 6 torr, right? If you leave it overnight, it'll go down to the minus 7, right? And the more you use it, the better it gets, because when you evaporate, it gets hot and it drives the water off. So like the first evaporation of the day can be the hardest to do. However, so yeah, it looks like it's dropping like a stone, but we'll still have to wait an hour and come back.